done.
Wow, what a fish. Guys, I saw him down there on Livescope, just hugging the bottom. Got the old magic worm in front of him and he bit it. Nice fish, wow. All right, I'm Bryan Schmitt with Bass University. Today we're going to talk about something really cool, man, and it's something that's catching a lot of attention. It's probably the single biggest tool in bass fishing, in my opinion, to date in the history of bass fishing. It's something that you need to embrace. It's forward-facing sonar, Livescope, to be quite honest, Garmin Livescope. It's a tool that I love personally. It's something that I use every single day I'm on the water, not just catching bass, not just catching fish, but learning behaviors. Okay, today's a cloudy day. I noticed that the bait is doing something different than a sunny day. You know, it's windy. I'm seeing underwater live image of what the fish are doing because of the conditions, because of the boat pressure, etc. And it also helps me catch a lot of fish. I see structure, just magnifying the productivity of every day I'm fishing. That's the best way I could say it. You know, it speeds up every little thing that I'm doing. You know, we're going to dive into how we, you know, set it up, all the settings, you know, color palettes, etc. We're going to dive into baits that we use when we're strictly trying to catch fish with forward-facing sonar, you know, not just structure related, out in open water, different techniques and so forth. But this is going to be a really cool day. We're going to talk about some cool stuff. Stay tuned. All right, guys, Bryan Schmitt with Bass U. I'm going to talk about some key baits, techniques that I use for forward-facing sonar, trying to catch the bass that I'm seeing on Garmin Livescope. So one really cool technique that I do, this is a Spro Wameku Shad. This is your rattle bait, you know, your lipless rattle bait, but this is an excellent tool for a yo-yo technique, reaction bite per se. So I see a fish out there, I got a bass, just open water, not really structure related, maybe on bait. If I can get this to that fish, that initial drop, I might get a bite, but a lot of times letting it get all the way to the bottom, waiting a second, and then doing a sharp jerk up, a sharp rip up. The vibration of this a lot of times triggers a bite, and then there's also times where a slow, just steady reel by the fish will get them to bite. We've all caught a million fish on this particular style bait. But believe me, the fish that are out in the middle of the lake or, you know, roaming on bait, they will eat this too. Just a little bit different presentation. Got to let it get a little bit deeper. They will tear this up. I like fishing this on, you know, this is a 7-1 medium heavy. This is actually my signature series swim jig rod. This was designed for swim jigging. I love it for a lot of different techniques as well. This is my #1 rod for a lipless, any kind of lipless bait. 15-pound P-line, 15-pound ultimate fluorocarbon, my line of choice. I've caught some giant bass on this. Some people say that's maybe too heavy or too light, but that seems to be my go-to line. 7-to-1 reel, you know, nothing too crazy, nothing too fast, and just really, guys, just trying to make the longest cast possible, seeing a fish as far out as you can to keep it away from the boat. Let this get down there and give it a good rip up. A lot of times you'll trigger a big bite. All right, guys, so my next bait of choice, or technique of choice, is a drop shot. All right, we've caught a million bass on a drop shot. It is just as deadly for live scope fishing or forward-facing sonar fishing. This is a presentation that is finessey. It will draw a lot of bites. I've caught bass, I've caught largemouth, guys, believe it or not, throwing at fish in 12, 14 foot of water with the drop shot, and I've watched largemouth come up and meet it before it hits the bottom. I've actually even seen a largemouth grab the bait and another largemouth grab the weight.